So let's talk about if the Fiori is beautiful, it has so many good advantages, function, features. Why there is low adoption? Why people are not adopting to the Fiori? Why they are not? Why they are not using Fiori? Okay, there are few reasons. Okay, let's go one by one. Now, the first reason is mindset. Okay. Now, it's whose mindset? It's the customer's mindset, client mindset. What do you think? Is it a customer or client mindset, or it's a consultant mindset? Whose mindset can be a problem to adopt to Fiori? Answers over the chat window. I would love to see those answers. You can mention client or you can mention a consultant. Whose mindset which is blocking to adoption to Fiori? Thank you, guys. Thank you. Many client. We all are consultant. Any problem? Client. It's their problem. They are not giving the requirement correctly. They are not telling it. They have got stuck. They have a problem. We are consultant. We don't have a problem. Okay. So most of the people say it's a client problem. Few people say it's a consultant problem also. Okay. So consultant is, a few people are saying it's consultant. Most of the people say it's a client problem. They are not ready to adopt to Fiori. Now, if the client is not ready to adopt to Fiori, why do I have a answer here where even not here? I did multiple surveys. I am conducting multiple training, and most of the trainings when people come to me, even now also in 2021 also, when we go to the Fiori, it is first time they are logging into the Fiori. If it is a client mindset problem, why consultant after 6 years of launching a beautiful interface, why nobody has gone through it yet? Why it has not been adopted yet? So it's not only the client problem. If you think that the adoption to the Fiori is a client problem, it's a client mindset problem, very correct, but it's also a consultant mindset problem also. It's very much of a consultant mindset problem. If you will see that what is the weightage, whether the client problem is more or the consultant problem is more, I would see by seeing my experience in last 6 years into the multiple S4HANA implementation projects, it's the consultant problem is more rather than the client problem. It's more the consultant problem. It's more the implementation partner's problem rather than the client problem. Why? Because the implementation partners and SAP came up with the beautiful function and features with Fiori, but they don't have a proper program where basically they train the people, or even the functional consultant, many times they are still waiting back foot that, okay, somebody will train them, then they will know, then they will do the consulting. I know that people has done the two implementations, 3 implementation of S4HANA, but whenever I talk about the new functions, new features in Fiori, they don't know, they have never used it. I have done 2 implementation where I was just overview. I just need to overview the things once they have done the design and everything. And when I talk to the business that Fiori has this, Fiori has that, business say that our implementation partner, our consultant, neither SD, MM, PP, none of the consultants spoke about Fiori. I have seen that they have developed so many reports, and I have shown them that many reports they can get out of the box from the Fiori. The developments are not required, but still developments has been done. Okay. The two problem is the mindset problem with the client I will also talk about, but I see the major problem, the mindset problem and the training issue within the consulting community. Okay. The problem is that the consultant itself, they don't know what are the key function features are there in Fiori, how Fiori can benefit to the customer, how Fiori can benefit to the client, they don't know. If you ask a consultant, okay, run a scenario, they will do a running a scenario directly in GUI. They will not touch Fiori. They will not show the end-to-end cycles in the Fiori. They don't show the Fiori analytics. All these things are missing. Although now it has slowly increasing. If I compare from 2016 to now, it's slowly increasing. People are getting used to on Fiori. People are getting trained, and then consulting partners and implementation partner are also taking a step ahead to get the people trained on Fiori, because the functional consultant are the ones who would be speaking with the client who would be discussing the business blueprint, taking the requirements, suggesting them what need to happen. And if you have not shown them the Fiori full function features of the Fiori, then how come the business mindset comes into the place? Business mindset comes into the place when you have talked about, you have done your job, and then they have not adopted. Believe me or not, I have done the pre-sales. I have done the pre-sales demos where basically when I explain about Fiori in 30 to 45 minutes, people fell down from the chair by clapping. Okay, they said that okay, this is what we are waiting for so many years, and now it has come, and they get so much excited with these functionalities. One of the very good functionality is the search functionality, which I call Google search functionality. Totally amazing. Okay, I will try to show a glimpse today. I really love that functionality. So the important thing why I see that the mindset of the functional consultants, not the mindset, basically it's more than mindset, it's a training. They are not properly trained. You need to train them properly. They are very good speakers. Once they know it, they sell it. Okay, so they got trained properly. Second thing is mindset also comes into the picture. Mindset comes more into the picture, which I have seen where the clients are working in ECC and then they are moving to SAP S4 HANA, maybe with conversion or greenfield implementation. A lot of users would be there. They say that they love the GUI screen. Whenever you adopt to Fiori, there would be some few things where basically initially it would be difficult. Things would be there. So their mindset comes into the place. A change management need to brought in so that we can get Fiori adoption done. That is also a problem. The people who has mentioned it's right. That's also a problem. Many places we face business is not ready for the Fiori. They say that they have used GUI for so many years, they want to continue for GUI. But at some point of time, it need to be adopted. What is the next reason? Implementation efforts. So how many people think about with Fiori, implementation efforts would be more? And how many people think about with the Fiori, implementation efforts would be less? More or less? Two answers I want from on the chat window from everyone. Whoever is joining, either you mention it as a more or you mention it as a less. Very less, more, okay. Less. More, less, okay. Some people think that it is more, the efforts with the implementation would be more, and some people think that the effort would be less. Okay, let me tell you, for now, if you are implementing the efforts in with the Fiori, efforts would be more. There's no question about it. Why? Because most of the clients, the implementation is happening, they are moving from ECC to S4 HANA. Okay, when they are moving from ECC to S4 HANA, they are used to with ECC, and then you want to bring them on S4 HANA. And if you want to bring them in S4 HANA with Fiori, then basically you need to put additional efforts to untrained from GUI and train them on Fiori. So additional efforts would be there. Okay, in some cases where basically this change will not happen swift or immediately, right? Some cases you will say that, okay, I go ahead with GUI also, okay, so that people can slowly adopt to Fiori. So slowly from I go ahead in S4HANA with GUI and slowly I would be adopting to Fiori. So in many cases, we have seen that adoption to Fiori is there, but they still say that because the confidence in the Fiori is not that high, because it's comparatively new applications in the market. So they also have a GUI. So when they have a GUI also, when you have Fiori also, your implementation efforts will definitely increase, your training efforts will increase, your testing efforts will increase, and your roles and authorization efforts will also increase. So what I have seen based on my experience with Fiori, there would be additional efforts. So basically to have a low cost project, that is another case. They want to complete the project in low cost, and they say that with GUI we cannot get rid of because of the ECC experience, they will still ask for the transaction codes and we need to give it. So if they go ahead with the mixed approach, there would be higher effort. That's why the initial first go live of the project, people are doing without Fiori, because with Fiori, the efforts increases. That's the another reason the adoption is low. So answer to that is we basically propose people that with that number of efforts, which is going higher, what you should approach if you're moving from conversion, or if you're moving from ECC to S4HANA, you can phrase out your Fiori. Okay, you can have a first implementation without Fiori, first go live, then in the phases you can roll out the Fiori. Okay, but if your client does not use SAP, okay, if your users are not using SAP, they are onto some third-party ERP systems, BAN or MSD, Microsoft Dynamics, and then they are coming to SAP, specifically, they should directly go for Fiori. Okay. What is another reason? Another reason is also performance and stability of applications. So when SAP launched Fiori in 2015, uh, launches they are much ahead, right? But in 2015, they said, okay, Fiori is another key interface which they are looking with S4HANA. Multiple things would be delivered with Fiori. And you will see that all new function features which has been given with S4HANA, they all happen with Fiori only. Whether it's AATP, backorder processing, your flexible Fiori workflows, new analytical applications, dashboards, okay, whatever the new functionality you talk about, new quotation process, DDMRP, all these things only happen with Fiori. There is no transaction codes has been designed for that. Although those kind of things are there, but still when in 2015 and 16, when it came, people find that there was a bugs in applications was not that stable. So there was a low confidence on Fiori. That is the stability of application. But if I compare now from 2016 to now, the things has improved. Now Fiori has a lot of very high stability is there, especially the application which has launched in 2015, 16 and 17. Now it is quite stable. A lot of nodes has been released. A lot of patches has been put it. A lot of version change has been happened for the Fiori application. Is now in quite stable stage. So people are still carrying, the implementation partner are still carrying their confidence level or their user experience, which they have initially used Fiori in 2015 and 16. I'm using from 2015 because I am in training. So with every version, I have given the training. With every version, I have used Fiori, and I see the drastic improvements from 2015 till 2021. I see a specific and the drastic improvements. Another thing which people face when they're experienced, that's more in the user community and in the consultant community also. As soon as they log into the Fiori, they say, oh, it's taking a lot of time. It's S4HANA. ये तो चल ही नहीं रहा है, open ही नहीं हो रहा है, performance नहीं है. Fiori, you need to understand, that's again into the mindset, not only the mindset, but technically you need to know Fiori. Fiori is a web-based tool, right? And GUI is not a web-based tool. So technically how these two tools operates is different. Any web-based tool for the performance, it would be highly depending on its cache. So in our system, which we give it, that systems also, and in the client production system also, we have seen once you log in first time to Fiori, any users, even if they have changed their browser or the browser has been refreshed or those kind of changes, it takes time to load first or second time. Any application you will be using first time, it will be taking time in Fiori. But once you have used it for the couple of times, in the third time, you will see the drastic improvement in the performance because system is trying to build your cache. Once the cache has been built, a lot of things will be used from cache, and you will see the rise in the performance. That is the thing which a consultant need to explain to the business users, because business user is very judgmental. As soon as they have logged in, they will make their judgment. But yeah, it's a flop. As if people every time will come up with some new things and it does not work. Okay. So you don't be that judgmental. You need to understand why the things like that. It's not with the Fiori. Even I have seen, I'm working with HANA for such a long time. Before this S4HANA came, we were using HANA and we developed our own web-based platform for the analytics on top of HANA. That is also a web-based tool that also has the exactly same problem which Fiori has. Initially, it takes time. And then the HANA database also at the backend, it will taking some time to load your data from the persistent layer to the in-memory layer. So that also will take some time. So that's what you need to explain to the people. So that is the one part of the performance. Another thing is that the implementation is little tricky. The architecture is also a little tricky. It has a co-deploy and hub deploy. Your basis team will help you more. So you need to work with the basis team, and you need to make sure that you have implemented in a right way, whether co-deploy is required or hub deploy is required for you. With consulting with SAP, you have adopted to the right thing, because that also impact performance. Performance will be impacted because of that also. Okay, so that also need to be selected correctly. And when you are designing your roles, when you're designing your launch pad, if you have given so many application access to user on the launch pad, again, it will work slow, because what happened with the Fiori, without hitting a transaction, 100 of programs will work. Before you hit any transaction code, then your GUI start works, right? Here it is not like that. Here, when you will open the launchpad, 100 of programs, 1,000 of calculations, a lot of things at the back end has happened only just when you open your browser. That much of automations are there. Okay, so if you have given thousands of applications into, or hundreds of applications onto the launchpad to the user, performance would be impacted, right? So that are some key things which need to be worked on. That is also, I have got the answers when I have also taken the interviews before preparing my course, that why people are not adapting to the Fiori. They said that they have not seen the performance in the Fiori. Okay, if you have a performance problem, go to through SAP notes, discuss with SAP. Maybe you need to change your infrastructure, infrastructure architecture, and you need to simplify your rules. One of the another reason which I have found it out is low adaptability to new features. The adaptability is also low to the new features. So SAP is launching a lot of new features. I have counted flexible Fiori workflow, then DDMRP, a lot of Fiori applications in MRP Live. Then your in sales, a lot of new Fiori application is there. So in each of the module, whatever the new functionality comes, it is coming directly with Fiori. But the another question is that if people start adopting to the new function and features, their adoption to Fiori will increase. But the another thing which I have found it out in last 5 years, the adoption to the new function and feature is quite low. It has two reasons. One reason is that even I also recommend any new function features which SAP comes up with. Guys, can you please confirm if you are able to hear me clearly over the chat window? Okay, great. Thank you. If you have some questions, please put it on the questions. After that, I would be going into the question and answer. If you have any questions so far, you can put on the question and answer window. Okay. So the low adaptability to the new features is also the culprit that the people are not adapting to the Fiori. Now, the low adaptability to new features. Why there's a low adaptability to new features? So I have told you two things. One thing is that people basically, even I recommend that any new function feature which has been come up, let's wait for initial 3 years to get it stabilized. It takes 2 to 3 years to get it stabilized and all the function features included in it, so that it can be usable. But a lot of things which has been introduced in 2016 and 17 now is in stable case. Stable condition and a good condition to be used. DDMRP, your advanced applications for Fiori for the for sales, for the fulfillment, flexible Fiori workflows. Now it has been from last 3-4 years it is staying, and now I have seen a drastic improvements in that, and those applications are now, those functionality and features are now quite stable, right? So people has taken the experience from the initial delivery of those application, and then they are continuing with their experience. They have not checked it back. The changes in S4HANA is drastically. In ECC, once the thing has been given for 3, 4, 5 years, it remains same. In S4HANA, once the things has been given, maybe in the same version, when the new FPS come, it got changed, it got improved. I literally got amazed by seeing the functionalities they have added in DDMRP, how improved it became. The AATP functionality, the ABC functionality, when it was launched first time, I saw, oh, ये क्या दिया है? No, nobody will use it. That was my first comment. But when the next version, I have seen that the usability has increased. I saw a lot of application has been given, a lot of features, functionality has been given to increase the usability. Okay, so that is another thing, that the new features, if people will adopt, the adaptability will increase. Again, it is linked to this functional consultant training. I have seen 2 implementation where flexible Fiori can be implemented, could be implemented, but still classic release strategy has been given, because even functional consultant was not confident, not aware to adopt to the flexible Fiori workflows. Okay, so that is also the point number 5 is also linked to the point number 2. Okay, so this is the high level things. I will also touch base on what key advantages we have. And then I will also quickly try to touch upon what are the challenges we have in the Fiori. If you go ahead with the Fiori implementation, what kind of challenges would be there?